Now out in cinemas is the 7th entry in the Jurassic Park franchise with Jurassic World Rebirth. Directed by Gareth Edwards, most famous for his efforts on Godzilla from 2014 and Star Wars Rogue One. Edwards was given a massive budget of $180 million, with the writer David Koepp returning to the franchise to pen the script, having adapted Michael Crichton's material for Jurassic Park and The Lost World. Though David would oversee the sequels and offer his input, this would be the only one he would write solo since The Lost World. Steven Spielberg started developing the 7th film in the series shortly after Jurassic World Dominion was released. He wanted David Koepp involved to write the script. David rewatched the preceding 6 films in the franchise and reread Crichton's Jurassic Park novels, incorporating concepts from both books. Steven and David worked closely to develop the screenplay over a 6-month period, seeking to revive the tone of the original film. David said, "We decided early on that because the first and second trilogies have concluded their stories, let's not restrict ourselves in any way. Let's have all new characters in an all-new location." Gareth Edwards was hired to direct Jurassic World Rebirth due to his visual style, which was considered ideal for the Jurassic World series. He also had extensive experience with CGI, which played a big factor in them choosing him. Spielberg enjoyed Edwards' film Godzilla, and Edwards was a fan of the original Jurassic Park, so Spielberg was very confident in Edwards taking control. John Matheson served as the cinematographer, and he and Edwards hoped to emulate Spielberg's style, and shot the movie on 35mm film, making use of Panavision cameras, though he would not shoot the film in the spherical format of 1:8:5:1, and instead shot in the CinemaScope format of 2:3:5:1. Once Edwards was hired, he suggested shooting in Thailand, where he filmed The Creator. Spielberg and the producers immediately approved the idea, with filming lasting a month in Thailand, then they moved on to Malta in July. In August, filming moved to the UK as they made use of Sky Studios at Elstree. For a scene involving a museum, they shot at the University of Greenwich. They wrapped filming in September and did some pickup shots in New York 3 weeks later. The early reviews by the press haven't gone down too well, with most giving the film average scores, with Empire magazine and Total Film awarding it 3 out of 5. Most praised it for its visual look and action, but pointed out the series is running out of ideas and we are lumped with forgettable characters. The Guardian newspaper were very positive, writing, "The latest instalment marks a return to form after some recent duds, with all the expected Spielberg-style set pieces and excellent romantic chemistry between the leads." Well, that's bollocks, isn't it? The film opened 17 years in the past, a very specific number, but anyway, the InGen scientists are working on these mutated dinosaurs to impress the new owners of Jurassic World, set to open in a number of years, but their security system is stalled by a Snickers wrapper. No joke, which causes the D-Rex dinosaur to escape. Then it jumps to present day, 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion. Many of the dinosaurs are dying out due to the environment, and the remaining dinos have taken up residence in hotter climates. Zora Bennett, played by Scarlett Johansson, is a covert operative and is recruited by Martin Krebs, played by Rupert Friend, who works for Parkogenics, a pharmaceutical company, to collaborate with paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis, played by Jonathan Bailey, to locate the 3 largest remaining prehistoric species from land, sea and air. The biomaterials of these creatures hold the key to a revolutionary drug capable of saving countless human lives. They head to a forbidden island in the Atlantic Ocean by sea, led by Duncan, played by Mahershala Ali. Along their journey, a family is stranded out at sea as their boat was attacked. The team pick them up and head to the island to complete their mission, but they as well are attacked along the way and find themselves separated on the island and surrounded by some of the most dangerous dinosaurs InGen ever created. The Jurassic World films haven't been great in my opinion. The first one out of this new trilogy was a fun nostalgic throwback to the first film. They finally got the park working, but things go tits up because they introduce a new aggressive dinosaur, but the film is littered with some cheesy and stupid moments, which stops it from being on par with the original. Fallen Kingdom is a very silly movie that my close friends seem to enjoy because of how bonkers it gets, and falls into a Resident Evil movie by the third act, with the main characters being chased around a mansion. Dominion was a mix of the old and new cast, with a rubbish script about these giant locusts destroying crops. Despite the mixed reviews, these new sequels all made huge amounts of money, as people still flocked to see these dinosaurs in action, hence why Universal Pictures wanted another. So with Rebirth, which kind of came out of nowhere when they posted a trailer about 4 months ago, I thought the series had finished, but no. But I was kind of intrigued by this new premise. It seemed they wanted to go back to the roots with a simple storyline, but played out on a big canvas. It seems to ignore the events of Dominion, with the idea of dinosaurs co-inhabiting the world with humans, as now they are dying out. So it quickly cleans up those events and shifts into a different gear. What also intrigued me was having Gareth Edwards directing, as I'm a fan of his work. So after watching Rebirth, what did I think? Well, its biggest crime is that it's very boring. It had a couple of decent action sequences. The escape from the T-Rex is the standout piece, which is taken from the original Jurassic Park book, but also this sequence would be inspired and used in Jurassic Park 3, so the movie really struggles to offer anything new. The main issue is the script by David Koepp. It's pretty bad throughout, and full of the most generic dialogue. It felt like it was put together by ChatGPT. The film desperately wants you to care about the characters as they spend a lot of time exploring their backstory, motives and their feelings, and it's thunderously dull. You just want them to get to the island and for the action to start. I was just praying some of them would get eaten to just liven the movie up. The film repeats about 3 to 4 times the situation with the dinosaurs and why they are dying out. By the third time they mention it, I was like, I know this information. Didn't they screen test this movie before they released it? You have 2 sets of characters, the main cast with Bailey, Friend, Scarlett and Allie. Then you have the family who get stranded out at sea and get rescued and join them on the island. But once separated, the family ends up being more interesting than the main cast. Well, only a tad. They are still annoying, with the dad being most forgiving, though we can't decide when his damaged leg hurts and doesn't. Scarlett Johansson's character is supposed to be a pro in dangerous situations, but completely fumbles her first attempt to get a sample from a dinosaur by sea. This whole scene is just a throwback to Jaws. It's well executed, though doesn't provide anything I hadn't seen before. The new D-Rex, which is basically a T-Rex mixed with a Rancor beast from Return of the Jedi, has a great build-up as it makes its first appearance in the final act. It's shot very similar to Godzilla. A lot of smoke hiding it before its big reveal, but not much happens with it to leave a lasting impression. And again we see these new dinosaurs in situations we've been before, with the family avoiding one in a shop, which feels ripped out of Jurassic Park with the kitchen sequence. The score to the film is composed by Alexandre Desplat, reuniting with Gareth Edwards after Godzilla. Desplat, once he got the job, said, "At first you are excited, then panic comes along because you realise that you're taking over from a fabulous composer who invented so many great things that the whole planet knows. You try to find your way through that. You try to make it your own, and at the same time pay homage to Williams' music, and try to find your own way through that by inventing new themes and ideas, but staying in the same artistic zone as the scores of the franchise." Desplat recorded the score at Abbey Road Studios in London, with a 105-piece orchestra and a 60-piece choir. Besides acting in the film, Jonathan Bailey contributed to the film's score by playing clarinet solos. The best part of the movie is the soundtrack. Really impressive new material by Desplat, and it blends wonderfully with Williams' score, and when he does homage Williams' music, it sounds incredible, and does flick those nostalgia switches immediately. I think every scene had music deployed, a very lengthy score that captures the wonderful soundtracks of the 90s. If you love dinosaurs and aren't fussed about plot, then you probably will have a fun time. The visual effects by ILM are pretty impressive throughout, with maybe 1 or 2 shots that still needed a bit more work. They clearly ran out of time. With this being the 7th one in the series, it's really scraping the bottom of the barrel to come up with something new to do or say, and it's very clear they have run out of ideas. But Universal Pictures don't seem to want to stop, as they keep making money. Jurassic World Dominion made just over $1 billion at the box office, and most folks seem to hate that film, and Rebirth is already open to strong box office numbers, despite the underwhelming critical response from critics and general moviegoers. I'm a big fan of Gareth Edwards, a very talented guy, and he brings his usual high standards of visuals to the production, but he has been lumped with a pretty naff script, which clearly needed a lot more work. But then again, the Jurassic Park and World sequels have all had their ups and downs. None have captured the magic of the first film. Even with the improved visual effects and larger action sequences, these sequels will never have the same impact. I certainly won't be rushing out to watch Rebirth again in future. If it's going cheap on 4K Blu-ray in a few years, then I may grab it. But I think for now I will just happily listen to the soundtrack. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the like button and hit the bell to be notified of my latest reviews. Big thanks to my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. If you want to get involved and gain access to exclusive videos and take part in Q&As, follow the link below.